Welcome back guys, and today we're going to be talking about Pokemon Legends Arceus, or Arceus? Arceus. Yeah, the newest spin-off title from the Pokemon franchise. Now, I'm not going to lie, I've been pumped for this one ever since the announcement. I felt like the Pokemon games were getting desperate for some reimagination, and the last few mainline games had become, well, hopelessly stale. And then what? A year ago, we get this very different looking trailer which has probably been said to death by now, but looks unapologetically inspired by Breath of the Wild. No, that doesn't mean Pokemon should be held accountable or anything, because I think open world pre-technology exploration games are just seeing this huge boost in popularity. And besides, it's definitely not a bad thing. Seeing this game essentially introduce these third-person open exploration elements to a Pokemon game set in feudal Japan, even on paper sounds like a golden ticket. So the hype was real, and for the most part I'm really happy to say that I'm not disappointed. Besides new Pokemon Snap, this feels like the most original and exciting Pokemon game I've played since the days of Mystery Dungeon and Colosseum way back when. Instead of waking up, walking through field to field, from town to town, beating the world as a 10-year-old Pokemon god, doing the same thing we've done for the last 20 years, this spin-off has us based in feudal Japan in a time where Pokemon and people didn't coexist, and our job is to simply explore the vastly untouched world, catching Pokemon to research and understand them. You travel these large open fields, essentially throwing Pokeballs left, right and centre at all these Pokemon running wild. In this revamped system, they've aimed for a more fluid, transitioning gameplay style where you can catch the Pokemon you see in front of you without going into a new screen. And even fighting works fluidly, with you throwing your Pokeball out into the field. And while the fights are still turn-based, there's this real-time placebo wrapped around it where you can move around the map whilst you're battling wild Pokemon, and even change up the battling order by making moves either agile style or strong style. This change in the foundation of the game is much welcome, and nothing feels more satisfying than throwing Pokeballs cross-map to either catch new Pokemon or to send out your own into battle. This game is also much more challenging on a base level. More times than usual I'd find myself up against Pokemon much higher in my level, and often facing off 3 wild Pokemon at once. Carrying health and revive potions felt that much more essential compared to previous titles. Which leads on to the next new mechanic of the game: item management. On-person inventory has been given a limited number, meaning there's only so much you can carry on you whilst exploring out in the fields. Exploration requires planning, finding what items you need most and what you can craft along the way to help you out. And whilst there's no new Pokemon per se, there are new variants to older ones, which helps keep exploring fresh. And I've loved that variation idea ever since it was introduced in Pokemon Sun and Moon. And to be honest, with the new mechanics going around, I was just getting hyped finding and recatching all the older Pokemon that I know and love anyways. Pokemon come in varying sizes and can even come in alpha forms, where you essentially just catch these massive sized Pokemon running around. Each Pokemon on the map feels like it has personality, where some don't have a care in the world or are easy to catch, some are skitty and require sneaking up on, and others just outright want to knock you out. It feels lived in and makes each Pokemon feel unique and personal. Story-wise, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it is fairly interesting, pitting you in, well, essentially boss battles against these ginormous deity Pokemon, where you have to dodge their attacks, whittle them down until you can finally battle them with a Pokemon. The difficulty curve does flat out eventually, and if you're engrossed enough in the overworld exploration and ignore the story for a decent amount of time like I did, you eventually come back into these story trainer battles and boss fights, confidently one-shotting most things around you. And yet, the wild Pokemon will still always give me a hard time. There are of course some issues with the game still, some glaring and some not too bad, but I think the main one that everyone will mention is the technical limitations of this game and its overall lack in visual quality. For the most part, this game feels bare. Whilst it's populated with Pokemon across these vast fields, it can still feel very empty. Random low quality trees which look copy and pasted across the map all look identical and out of place. Textures of the environment and the details of characters also feel very low quality. It's probably safe to say that everything besides the Pokemon here feels like they could have had more time spent on improving the visuals. It also feels like there should have been more to these environments to do. There are items to pick up and side quests to go on, but for being a game in the independent exploration category genre, it needs more activities to keep you wanting to explore, in case catching Pokemon just isn't enough for you. Surprisingly enough as well, despite the low grade visuals, the Switch can still suffer with frame drops, albeit not enough for me to care too much about it. Trainer battles are in the game and are fun when they're there, but they're also very limited. Most trainers are only having one Pokemon to fight against, and with no options to battle online or use in a post-game arena for other Pokemon to fight. I'm sure there'll be an update in later patches, but for now, it's a glaring issue which should definitely be included in the game. It feels like to me this was just a tester to try out the change in genre and get a feel for the reception of the game, because whilst it doesn't wow me in visual performance, it still feels like a well-loved project. Sound effects and music are wonderful in here too, with some really pleasing audio feedback from lots of inputs like catching Pokemon and menu navigation. Pokemon have new models and animations, and there's something about letting out all your Pokemon out in front of you and watching your character and them interact with each other just feels so great. Some might be quick to negatively judge this, but knowing Pokemon's 25-year history, this to me is a great step in the right direction, because despite the shaky performance issues, the not so next-gen visuals, this game is still amazingly entertaining, and I would take this over Sword and Shield any day of the week. It's far more charming, the foundations are solid, and this makes me excited to see what can be improved on in the future, which I hope to God they do. Don't let this be a one-time fling, please. If you're a Pokemon fan, I'd recommend this for sure. If Pokemon isn't even your thing in the past, this might change it up enough to convince you to try it out. But maybe you thought differently to what I did. Let me know what your thoughts are on the game were below in the comments. If you liked this video and review, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe, it always helps out. And as always, stay tuned for more reviews on movies, anime and video games. Until next time guys, take care. Bye bye.